What up, YouTube? It's your boy Carter TV. You know I'm back with a story. For y'all. This story revolves around a little young boy. This boy name is Tucker. Tucker Hamilton. Tucker, not your average kid. He was into science. He was into bugs. He was also into, body parts and organs and shit like that. Basically, Tucker got involved into this type of stuff at a very early age, at the age of 6. He was watching the Discovery Channel, and he was introduced to a lot of things as far as animals killing each other and, seeing all the organs and stuff like that being eaten. And he was watching science. Basically the whole Discovery Network station is where he got drawn to, with bugs, science, all types of stuff like that. And he got really into it at the age of 6. By the age of 7, when he was going to school, he was, looking into science books. He was looking into bugs books. He was looking into animals and stuff like that. And his first opportunity with an animal was a squirrel. He seen a squirrel. He was fascinated by it just a tad bit. And he wanted to see what the insides of a squirrel look like. So he set up a trap for the squirrel. Put some nuts down, set up a little booby trap, trapped the squirrel, end up catching it. He ended up taking it back home to his dad's garage, and he started dissecting the fucking squirrel. Now, what 7-year-old kid is doing all this types of shit? You know what I'm saying? But he was doing that, and he was just so intrigued with what the insides of the squirrels look like, the heart, the organs, and, other shit like that. He even cut the top of the squirrel's head, the little head, and he saw the brain. And he was just like fascinated, like, wow. And then he squished the shit together, and he got involved in stuff like that, right? And he just became fascinated with killing other animals. His next few targets was a dog, cat, bird. He got involved to doing all this type of nasty shit. He didn't really have any friends because the neighbor kids would see him do this shit. So they would bully him at school, and he would basically take insides of animals, and he would throw it at them. The ones who bullied him, he would throw it at them. And they learned to, just fall back from the kid. Until this one particular bully who came to the school. His name was Billy. Billy was just an angry kid. Very angry kid. And he kind of took his frustration out on Tucker on seeing him playing with a bird. Billy was like, why are you picking on a bird? And Tucker was like, I'm just liking the insides. And what Tucker had did that offended Billy was put the insides of the bird in his face, and he slapped Tucker right across his fucking face, leaving a whole handprint across his whole shit. Just boom, right? His whole shit. So knocking Tucker's whole glasses over. And then he went to work on his face and started pounding him out. Boop, 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 boop. Giving him a whole cookie and a concussion. And that had Tucker stay home for a couple days. And Tucker didn't feel so good about this. After, he spent home beat up, the kid Billy got suspended for 2 weeks. Tucker came back to school, and everybody was making fun of him, and he didn't like it. So what Tucker decides to do, he decides to take his dissecting to a whole nother level. He decides to look into humans, which he goes to the Discovery Channel to see if he can learn anything about it. Didn't find what he was looking for there, so he goes to the internet. Now, the internet, you can find fucking anything, especially a kid. They'll click on something, find themselves on some shit that they shouldn't be on, which he ended up doing. And he ended up finding out how, forensic scientists cut up bodies to look inside to determine how the body died, how the person died, or what they was affected from that caused, he ended up stumbling upon a couple of these things, and he decided to test the waters. So he would, he found out about chemicals that he could mix up that he not supposed to mix up. So that time, him being home, coming home straight after school, he would go home and get straight to his experiments. He would make, little chemicals, little bombs and shit like that. And he would test it on some of the animals in the area that he's like the squirrels, the birds, little chipmunks. He would test it on them to see how they would respond to it. You know what I mean? And when he got the response he was looking for, he decided to test it on, the neighborhood kids around, especially the ones that bullied him. So what happens now is Billy becomes his first victim. Billy comes back to school. Billy's a new kid. Billy decides he wants to just focus on getting the schoolwork done and, living his life and being a normal kid without being angry, because while Billy was home, he was also taking therapy. He was taking management lessons and calming him down. And so Tucker decides he don't want to hear that shit. He wants revenge. He wants to kick his ass for what he did to him. Billy becomes his first victim. At the age of 7, he basically taunts Billy to get Billy to be that angry hawk he was when he first met him. He taunts him, makes fun of him, you slow big bitch. That's why your mother don't love you, your daddy hates you. He's saying all the little things that get him upset. That's why the girl that you like, I kissed her and I showed her my wee-wee. And that ticked Billy off, because Billy liked this one girl and he really got under his skin. So Billy's like, I'll see you after school. So Billy decides to get him after school, which is Tucker takes him on a goose chase. So when Billy sees Tucker, Tucker runs. So the school, the neighborhood kids decide to follow them to a point where Tucker loses the kids and he also loses Billy. He loses Billy, and Billy ends up wandering, trying to find Tucker on his own, calling him out, Tucker, where the fuck are you, you little pimp squeak? I'm going to kick your ass. And what Tucker does is he lures him to where he is and he sets up a booty trap. He sets up a little trap, like a little bear trap. But this bear trap was like one of those ropes that just sling you in the air, which catches Billy. Billy's hanging upside down. Oh shit, help me down, I'm scared, I'm scared. Here comes Tucker, he's coming out the woodworks. What Tucker does is he says a few things to Billy, like, yeah, you thought you was gonna catch me, huh? You fell right into my trap, you big doofy. And he begins to experiment on Billy by putting all types of chemicals in his body while he's hanging upside down. Billy ends up dying within an hour. He has blood coming out his eyes, blood rushing to his head. His organs just failed. This kid really tore him up and inside. Then what he does is cuts the body down. He drags Billy back to his house and begins to dissecting his body. Like, what 7-year-old kid does shit like this? So after that, he ends up just dissecting Billy, cutting him up. And then when he was done with it, whatever he wanted out of Billy's body, he kept as like a trophy. Kept a heart, he kept a lung, and he kept his genitals. Don't ask me why. He kept his genitals and he put them away. When his parents saw what he was doing, they asked him where'd he get that. And he was like, oh, those are animal parts. Those are animal parts I just like to collect, experiment on. His parents thought nothing of it. Oh, he playing with animals, he dissecting, whatever. Cool. What he does with Billy's body is he mixes up a few more chemicals to create some acid. And what he does is he takes Billy back out into the woods. He buries him about 6 feet down. He spends about a good 3 hours digging this hole, buries him 6 feet down, pours the acid on it, and then covers it, getting rid of Billy. Later on, Billy's parents have been looking for him. They can't find him. Nobody knows where he's been in a couple of days. Now, a couple of kids was pointing that Tucker had something to do with his missing, but Tucker had an alibi. He was home. He had his parents' alibi saying he was home, this and the third. So what Tucker decides to do, he starts to target everybody who's targeting him, making allegations against him. By his 8th birthday, Tucker already killed 3 of his classmates. By his 10th birthday, he already killed about half the kids on his block. And there was so many missing reports of kids missing, nobody knew what the fuck was going on. Like, why are these kids disappearing? What the fuck is going on? It's been over a good 3-year span that half the kids on his block was missing, and they were doing killing. So that was about a good 14 kids Tucker done took down by his damn self. You know what I mean? He either chopped them up, or he either put chemicals in their body, or he even put something in their food. And he kept little trophies of each kid. Little trophies. He didn't collect everything. He took little trophies. And what he does is he put all the bones into one area. So when it was finally, like I said, he put it in acid. And once, it showed bone, all the flesh and all that was taken off, He would then collect the bones and he would bury them exactly where he put Billy's body. So he had about a good 15 kids and buried in one motherfucking area. This kid is sick. Now, as time went on, you know, Tucker had calmed down, right? For a whole year straight, he didn't kill anybody. He didn't do nothing. He just calmed down because he was paranoid about what was going on in the neighborhood. He felt like people were watching him. He felt like people was, you know, keeping a close eye on him. He felt like his parents was moving very funny. So by his 11th birthday, no signs of, you know, anything for him to trigger killing at that particular moment. By the time he was 11 years old, another young lady moved into the neighborhood, Mandy. Mandy moved in, blonde-headed girl, pretty blue eyes. Pretty girl. Tucker immediately fell for her. Like, oh shit, she's mad pretty. And it's been about a good while since they had a new kid on his block. So Mandy was just kind of wondering, like, where all the kids gone? And when she met Tucker, because Tucker was outside, he was just dribbling his basketball. And she walked over across the street and she noticed all the missing peoples on the pole. You know how they got missing peoples on the poles. And he was just like, I don't know, kids, I guess, run away from home, I guess. So she was like, I'm Andy. He was like, I'm Tucker. He's like, oh, you seem like the only kid on the block. He was like, basically, yeah, I think all the kids ran away. So Mandy decides to see what Tucker is. And she was like, are you into birds and squirrels and stuff like that? You go, I mean, yeah, they're cool animals, I guess. And she triggers him by saying, well, I like to kill them. And it hits him. Boom! Oh, shit, you like to do what? I like to kill them. So if you see any birds or squirrels, let me know. I'm going hunting. He thought the girl was weird off rip. But in his mind, when she said that, it made him have bad flashbacks of him doing that to birds, squirrels, chipmunks, dogs, cats. And he instantly caught a rush of it. Like, he was just a throbbing rush. Like, I gotta kill some, I gotta kill some, I gotta kill some, I gotta kill some. And that little moment wasn't there for a whole year till this girl triggered him with just, you know, with her being the same as him and what he thought. So one particular Saturday morning, he was outside, told his parents, I'm going outside. He goes outside. His parents decide to snoop in his room and see all types of shit that they just was shocked to see. The dad and the mom was just like, what the fuck is wrong with our kid? What the fuck is wrong with our kid? They see all types of shit. They see bones. They see brain. They see eyeballs. All this shit Tucker had hitting was in plain sight. Because Tucker was going through a mood where he had that thirst for it now. They see a jar of red stuff, what they assumed it was juice, but it was blood. And it had a very bad smell to it, which it was coming through the jar, which made the parents actually go wander in his room. So they're like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? So they called police. Police came, they examined everything, and they was like, where's Tucker now? Tucker's outside somewhere. So they took all the stuff that he had, and they went out looking for him, right? In the midst of them looking for Tucker, Tucker's just in the woods. He's looking for an animal. He comes across 2 squirrels eating nuts. You know, squirrels living their everyday life. When he decides to go up and get one, Mandy's right there, and she shoots one with her BB gun. Boom, knocking the squirrel down. And it's shocking to Tucker. He's like, what the fuck was that? He turns around, and she's right there. So Tucker was like, where'd you come from? She was like, I followed you. You following me? She said, I knew you would lead me to a squirrel. I knew you would lead me to some type of animal. Are you ready to kill it? So he was like, yeah, I guess. So they decided to start killing up to the squirrel, cutting it open and everything. And basically, Mandy takes upon herself to do all the work and leaving Tucker out, which that was making Tucker very frustrated because normally this is something he's doing. Cuts it up. She cuts the head off. She digs in the head. She gorges out the eyeballs. She skins the tail off the squirrel. And Tucker's already getting frustrated because certain things she's doing that he wanted to do or he wanted to do it his way. Tucker gets very mad. He's like, why you keep doing everything I want to do? Let me get some in. Like, she was like, just chill, man. It's another squirrel over there. He's like, no, I wanted this one. I wanted this one. I wanted, like, he's boiling. He's enraged because It's been a while since he killed something or someone. So what happens now is a cat comes by, right? A cat. And the cat looks hungry. And it was looking like it was going for the squirrel. But Mandy stops the cat. Right before she was about to stop the cat, Tucker took a swing at her, but he missed. Right? He missed. He swung. He took up a big brick. He swung and he missed her because of the cat. The cat was going for the squirrel. And when he grabbed the squirrel, Mandy stepped in the way. Was like, "You're not going anywhere." So the cat lunged at her and scratched her. Boom, right? Scratched her. Falling right under Tucker, and Tucker standing right over her, like, looking down on her. Like, he picks up the boulder again. And she go, "What are you doing?" And he drops it. But she gets out the way. She go, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So he was like, "I'm furious. I'm mad. That was supposed to be my squirrel killing. You fucking ruined it. You little bastard. You're just like the rest of them kids. You're just like the rest of them kids. You know what? I'm going to put you where exactly I put the rest of them bastards. I'm going to put you where I buried all of them." So she's freaking out. She's hysterical. She starts screaming and crying. "No, no." He starts chasing her. He starts chasing her. He catches up with her. They're tussling. They're fighting. They're going on. He ends up knocking her out. 11-year-old kid knocks out this girl. Drags her to where he buries the other kids. He starts to dig a hole. In the midst of this going on, police, his parents are looking for him. The mom comes across him first, and she sees him, right? She also sees Mandy's body on the floor. Instead of moving in, she waits to see what he does. Because Tucker didn't wait. He looks around because he thought he heard something. So he looked around. He looked around. He didn't see anybody. He picks up all his chemicals that he had down there, put it up there. Mandy starts to come to. "Hello, Mandy. Are you ready to die?" She freaks out. What? What? No. Help me. Help me, somebody. He's like, "You're going to die, and no one's ever going to know where I buried you." Right? What Mandy decides to do is take some dirt, throw it in his face. Boom. Just so she can break wind, right? Mandy gets up. She is bleeding from her forehead. She sees it. She goes into panic. And they begin to go at each other in a fighting, right? What happens next is Mandy ends up kicking him in his stomach. He ends up falling over into the chemicals, which got on his arm and damn near burnt the skin off his arm. He cries out hysterically, "Ah, my arm, my arm." She sees the flesh fall the fuck off his arm and in panic mode. With that going on, Tucker's like, "You're gonna pay for this." "Ah, my arm." Just then the cops, his mother comes, the dad comes, and they stop Tucker. They also find 15 remains of those kids' bones down where Tucker had them. They take him to a mental institution where he is currently located, and Mandy goes on with her life. And all the kids, always interested in her story about Tucker, the weird kid. She basically solved the case of all the missing kids and how they're disappearing. Basically, the parents of Tucker was just like embarrassed of what happened. They decided to move out the neck of the woods and go into another area where nobody knew them. Tucker stayed in an institution where he's currently trying to make an escape and kill Mandy. It's your boy Carter TV, and I'm out. It's your boy Carter TV. Listen, for all my subscribers, all my, viewers, if you want to tell a story on a Carter TV show, I'm looking for people who are willing to tell a story. If you're interested, definitely hit me up. We can meet up, talk about your story, view it, put it down, share your story, no matter what it is. People want to hear it, it's going up. But if you're interested, definitely hit me up. You can hit me up on Instagram, you can hit me up on Facebook, DM me if you want to share your story on my page. I'm all ears for it. I'm down for it. Let's get it going. It's your boy Carter TV, and I'm out.